have a couple questions. One, if you could sign my book. But two, I wrote it down. What would you say to so-called pro-lifers who make the claim of bias in your work? They point out data from the study, particularly that was shared about the 96% of pregnant people who were denied an abortion ended up saying they no longer wish they aborted, and that these pro-lifers take issue with those findings, that they are rarely mentioned in dozens of articles about the study, are not mentioned on the website summarizing the study, and are not in the fact sheets that UCSF gives out talking about the effects of abortion denial. So what would you say to the people who claim that that's biased?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked those questions. They do like that. Oh, I have to repeat that. Wow, that was a long question. Sign the book. That was pretty much all I heard. No, just kidding. She was calling attention to the fact that many people who are denied abortions eventually say they're glad they were denied, and why isn't that statistic more widely cited or distributed? And then the objectivity of the study as a whole. So can I start in reverse order? Objectivity of the study as a whole. I made every effort to think about the ways in which I thought women who would have pregnancies carried to term would be better off, and we measured them. Ways in which there would be more social support, for example, life satisfaction, less stigma, and not just ways in which I thought people who got abortions would be better off, although we measured those too. And we didn't see things that I expected to see around life satisfaction. In fact, some people are happy that they were denied an abortion and had a child that they love, and that's, I think, why we see that 96% are glad that they didn't get the abortion. But people who did get the abortion often went on to have other intended kids later and got a lot of life satisfaction from that. And some people didn't want kids, and they got life satisfaction from other things that they pursued. And the fact that people were more likely to set aspirational plans and had a wider range of aspirations achieved if they got their abortion is part of, I think, what explains why there's life satisfaction in both groups, and that people who want abortions also want other things for their lives, and just not a child right then, and it doesn't keep them from having a child later. In fact, they're more likely to have an intended kid later. So I tried very hard to be objective in the questions we asked. We were very careful in how we asked the questions and how we trained people to ask the questions in objective ways. And at one point, one woman said she wouldn't answer the questions anymore unless we said we weren't trying to use this to ban abortion or to restrict access to abortion. So even the people participating in the study, some of them thought maybe with all the questions we were asking that we were somehow on a mission to make abortion look bad. So I don't think people participating in the study saw it as biased. We absolutely do promote, every talk I do that same slide about who's glad they didn't get an abortion and who's glad they did. And I think it's super interesting, and people are really eager to see their lives in a positive way, and people don't, when they're raising a child, feel like they wish they weren't raising that child, because it takes so much to raise a child that trying to do it with a feeling that you wish you weren't would be so hard. And I think people adjust and try and devote themselves to their kids. That said, we also have objective measures of maternal bonding, and it's worse for the people who are forced to give birth than the people who are able to get their abortions and have a child later. So people want to feel their life turned out for the best, and we certainly didn't tell them, yeah, but you would have better maternal bonding if only you'd been able to get your abortion, and your health would be better and you'd be a little bit less strapped for cash. They're doing the best they can, and I think that is a valid reasonable response, and they don't know how their life would have turned out. They're trying to feel that their life turned out for the best. I don't know if that did it.
Thank you.